talented in writing because they could write a piece even when they are in the middle of a crowd. They could spark a verse. They could compose a verse in their head.
Welcome back to the Introverted channel by K Guro. This is part 2 of Debunking Poetry Myths as part of the Ars Poetica series. Let's get started.
Myth is another common misconception saying that poems are easier to read. Okay, actually, no form of writing is ever easier to read. It always depends on the level of content. Okay, even prose writing, it's not easy to read, and that goes as well with poetry. And maybe because they think that poetry is shorter, that's why it's easier to read, but it's not. It requires still uh, some reading comprehension skills, okay, critical reading skills, reading comprehension skills. You have to read behind and beyond the lines because we use figurative and figurative and figurative language. We use imagery in it. We show what we want to say rather than telling people. So you still have to uh, construct meaning out of these poetry pieces. Okay, so it's not easier to read. It still depends on the level of the content of the material that you are reading in any piece of writing. Okay, so the next poetry myth is that poetry must always be short. No, 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 no. Although most pieces are relatively short, but there are uh, poetry pieces that are long as well with really lengthy lines. Okay, and well, length when it comes to poetry writing is not universal. That short length is not universal. When we say poetry, it's not only limited to writing in 3 to 4 verses or stanzas. Okay, poetry can vary, can have uh, at least 2 lines, and could have or could be 1,000 pages. Really. Okay, an example of that is the Odyssey by Homer, if I remember correctly. It's an epic poetry, and uh, it is 500 pages at most. Okay, if if I'm wrong, I will just uh, put somewhere, okay, the correction of it, but that's so far how I remember it. Okay, so we have what we call epic poetry, which is really lengthy. Okay, but here in the modern times, we write poetry mostly short ones. Okay, but we could also have long ones. But the what my favorite actually are short pieces of poetry with just let's say 5 to 10 lines, because I believe that uh, a poet is really talented and skillful or writes well when he or she can really produce a certain effect, okay, or could really stitch words well and could write a good piece with just a few words. Okay, so I really love brevity when it comes to writing. Okay, so it's just my personal preference, but really poetry can be long. Okay, could be even just in between. Okay, so let's go to the next myth, number 7. Uh, no, we're already in number 8. Okay? Number 8 myth is poetry does not make money. Okay? While in while poetry is an art and it's not being a poet is a bit into arts and humanities, okay, field, and it's not a very lucrative profession or field, but uh, if you write and write and write, and if you want to make money out of it, you have to publish your work. Okay, you have to publish it in printed form. You can, but if you won't publish it in printed form, in the current times, what they do is they put, I mean, this aspiring poets, they put up a website, they buy a domain, okay? I think in WordPress you do that, and in other sites, and you put up a blog, okay, a blogging site, and that's where you put all your poems. And I think also in Facebook pages and social media, you can do that. You can earn if you have based on the number of likes and followers in IG. Okay, so yeah, you can make money out of poetry. But my advice is that when you do not have the mindset of earning right away. You have to write poetry for the sake of writing, for the sake of loving the art, okay, or being passionate about, okay. So that's it. Let's go to number 9, okay. Myth number 9 says that poems are written based on the poet's own experiences, okay. It's not, because although most writers do that, not only in poetry but also in prose and other forms of writing, but when a poet writes it, it does not always mean that it's about his or her experiences. Okay, it could also be about their observations. I mean, it could be through other people. It could be through other, I mean, other people's experiences in which they are inspired to write about. It could be about advocacies of other people. So to just limit it to just limit poetry to being based on personal experience of the writer or poet is not true. Okay, so poetry is not always based about the poet's experiences. But of course, when we write based on our own experiences, the the piece of writing becomes more genuine. It becomes more heartfelt to us. It becomes more personal. Okay, and I know some of you could relate to that. Okay, okay, and we are down to our 10th myth, and the last myth that we will debunk about poetry is that poetry requires innate talent for writing. Okay? Well, there may be, when you say innate, it's a certain thing that you do is innate to you. It means that even when you were just a child, okay, back into your childhood, your parents could already see that you are really good at this thing that you do. Okay, you're capable of doing this thing, and you do it effortlessly. You do it effectively. You do it beautifully. Okay, and you do it well. But poetry and other forms of writing, they can be learned. Okay, so I tell you that they can be learned because uh, no one is a no one is a born poet. Okay, because I believe that because it takes practice. Okay, as well, just like in dancing and other arts, it takes practice to improve your writing. It takes also some uh, knowledge about it. Okay, because writing uh, requires you to be at least a bit good in language, also in the use of language. You have to be proficient as well, okay, in writing, at least, at the very least. And you have to put some love and passion into it, okay. So we can say that there are people who are really talented in writing because they could write a piece even when they are in the middle of a crowd. They could spark a verse. They could compose a verse in their head, okay, anywhere and anytime, okay. While it may be true to some people, for others it takes them practice as well. And I think that's good. That's good because uh, for me, the one rule in writing poetry is to write. Okay, that is the only uh, rule for me. The only rule in writing poetry is to write. Okay, you can learn it through love and practice. Okay, in my case, I have written a few pieces, and I started loving writing when I was in college. Okay, because although uh, I've written something already when I was in high school, but really, uh, poetry writing, it sparked my interest when I was in college in our creative writing class. Okay, uh, in our BS in English specialization. So or majorship. Okay, so hi to Sir A. Okay, so he is one of the reasons why I love poetry writing because of his very effective teaching. Okay, very inspiring teaching, very impactful. Okay, so that's when I started loving it. Okay, so there you go. You have the 10 myths debunked, okay, in this video. If there are things which I were not able to mention, okay, perhaps I can do another debunking myths 2.0, okay, if there are still myths that I have to debunk. So last words that I could give you in this video is that you don't need to be Shakespeare. You don't need to uh, be or use old English like or Middle English like though, thy, okay, in writing poetry for you to be recognized as a poet, okay, you can just start writing, okay. That's how you will know. You will just know in your heart that uh, oh, I could write well, so let me try writing poems, okay. And I think uh, one of the reasons why I loved it is because it's one of the freest form of writing for me. Okay, there are less restrictions. Well, unless it's for a writing assignment where your teacher gives you a format, number of lines, stanzas, or verses. Okay, so it depends on the situation. But when you do it as, when you do it freely, okay, after your 8 to 5 job or Monday to Friday job, it uh, it's just really a platform or a medium which you will really enjoy, okay, and appreciate. And I think poetry is not yet dead. It's still growing. I I love the communities in Facebook that I am part of. I enjoy reading poems, poetry written by many people, okay, around the globe. And I think forever love it. I would never get tired writing about it, despite some internal struggles, okay, or time restrictions that I have in my life, okay, because of my regular job, okay. But I'm happy that, uh, well, even though we are not happy because of the pandemic, in a way, in this guys, we were given some time to reflect upon our life and what we want to do in life and how we are doing, okay. And I'm happy that I was able to put up a channel like this, okay, to propagate, okay, to propagate and radiate to you and resonate to you my fascination and love for poetry. Okay, so that's it for my first video. I hope you got something from it. Okay, remember that I mean the things that I've said, all that I've said in this video are purely based on my both professional and personal knowledge about poetry writing, and based also from some of the readings and research that I did. Okay, I'm not yet a published poet. Okay, I hope it will happen, but I know it's not soon. But I I'm contented with the content. I mean with the things that I post in my social media in this channel. I'm uh, at least I'm contented with these platforms. Okay, well, one has to dream big, right? Okay, so for now, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed. Okay, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. So see you in another Ars Poetica series. Bye.
If you like this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe.